Hi, this is Travis Shaw with the Mosby Heritage Area Association, coming to you today from the side of the Washington and Old Dominion Bike Trail. Today this is one of the most visited recreational sites in Northern Virginia. Millions of people use this trail every year, whether they're on bike or on foot. But long before the bike trail existed, this was the path of the Washington and Old Dominion Railroad, a railroad that for more than a century moved people and goods back and forth between the Northern Virginia Piedmont and the nation's capital. The genesis of the Washington and Old Dominion started long before that was even a company, started back in the 1850s with the formation of the Alexandria, Loudoun, and Hampshire Railroad. This railroad was initially designed to carry traffic from the Port of Alexandria through Loudoun County and on up through Vestal's Gap to Harper's Ferry, and ultimately to the rich coal fields in what are now Hampshire and Mineral counties in West Virginia. By the time of the Civil War, the railroad had reached as far west as Leesburg, and it would remain kind of stuck at this point because, during the war, both sides were vying for control of the railroad, vying for control of this very strategic transportation network across Northern Virginia, and so the railroad would suffer significant damage to its track and to its rolling stock during the wartime period. After the war, conditions did not improve much for the Alexandria, Loudoun, and Hampshire Railroad as the various financial panics of the post-war era kind of doomed that company. The railroad and its property went through a number of different iterations in the 1870s and 1880s, with various companies purchasing the rights to the railroad and then going bankrupt, being reformed as different companies. And it's not really until the railroad gets purchased by the Richmond and Danville Railroad that it becomes financially solvent. The Richmond and Danville Railroad was a major trunk line that ran through the state of Virginia, connecting the northern cities of Philadelphia, New York, and Baltimore with cities further to the south. What would become the Washington and Old Dominion becomes more and more important as the rail line is continued westward past Leesburg, through the towns of Hamilton, Purcellville, Round Hill. They're going to bring in farm produce, dairy products from the western Loudoun County, from these more rural areas, and bring them into the growing city of Washington to feed the population there. The railroad in the 1880s is also going to start carrying a new kind of traffic, and that is commuter traffic. Government employees are going to start coming into Washington from growing suburbs, places like Falls Church, Vienna, as far west as Ashburn, are going to start using the W&OD as a commuter line. Now, the real revolution in the history of what would become the Washington and Old Dominion is going to come in 1894, when the property, the entirety of the Richmond and Danville Railroad, is purchased by the Southern Railroad, which is a major corporation that is going to start incorporating smaller lines like this line out into western Loudoun County into a much larger rail network. And so we'll pick up with that story as we move a little on further down the line.